parsha is the very interesting, it's strange halacha of the para aduma, the red heifer, which was the cleansing process when someone became impure, spiritually unclean, and then there was a process to cleanse them. They took this cow, which was entirely red or brownish color, and it wasn't allowed to have more than one black hair in the entire animal, perfectly red. They burnt this cow to ashes, mixed it with water, and that water, that mixture, the Kohen, the priest, used to sprinkle on the unclean person, and it became clean. So obviously this is very pure, holy water which cleanses. But what's strange is the person that sprinkled the water on the unclean person became unclean himself by touching the water. So is the water a cleansing item, or is it by touching it you become yourself impure? And the Torah says this is a choik. This is a mitzvah which isn't to be understood, at least in this world. And of course Hashem has his reasons, but we have no idea why we have this mitzvah. And it's called a choik, a mitzvah which we do without understanding. Now that's very strange. Why do we have those mitzvahs? We have a couple of chukim. Most mitzvahs make sense to our mind, but we have a few mitzvahs that don't really make sense. The question is, why did Hashem give us those mitzvahs? You see, Judaism is a religion that actually makes sense. And everything in Yiddishkeit has to make sense. We don't just go with blind faith. We believe that it's not enough to have faith or belief. We have to know. The Torah teaches us that a good Jew knows about Hashem, doesn't just have blind faith, and some rabbi told me to do this. No, it's absolutely true. And it makes sense logically. So why then did God go ahead and give us a bunch of mitzvahs that don't make sense? You see, when we serve Hashem with all those mitzvahs, we must understand that this is a deep, meaningful relationship. Now, within relationships, if you do things only that make sense to you, there's no way you're going to build your relationship. Your loved one will never really feel that you love them by being nice to them if you do only the things that make sense. If your spouse asks you to do something and you say, wait a second, if it makes sense, I'll do it. If not, that isn't a loving relationship. So if we keep the Torah because God says, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, and we say, oh yeah, that's morally correct, I'm not going to steal or murder, then Hashem says, you're not listening to me, you think it's correct. Let me give you a few mitzvahs to see, are you going to do it even if you don't understand? And by keeping those mitzvahs, which we don't understand, we are in essence telling Hashem that all the other mitzvahs that we do, whether it's keeping Shabbos, eating kosher, it's not because Shabbos is a great day and a day of rest, and I appreciate it, although we do, but that's not why we do it. We do it because God told us to. We do it to build our relationship. When your spouse asks you to do something, you say, yes, honey, absolutely. I want to build my relationship with you, whether it makes sense or not, whether I understand it or not. Says the Torah, I'm giving you a mitzvah to do which doesn't make sense. But let me see, do you love me? Or do you understand with your limited understanding that this makes sense and therefore you will do it? And if we're trying to build a relationship, we do those mitzvahs, and this proves that everything we do is really just to build a relationship with Hashem, not because it makes sense. They're not our morals, they're God's morals. Thank you, and good Shabbos.
Shabbos.